this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Styrofoam on the microphone, trying to build, knowing my. The rent due, the bills need payment, and I done went through what's in my mix savings. Plus some spit tools, spent a week praying, thinking what I let do, and when is he paying? Angel on my shoulder whisper, be patient. Devil on the other screaming, hit the streets chasing. Ain't no country for old men. Plus I caught that late night wonder if it's an old men. Code 10, nearing 7:30 while my doomsday clock strikes 12. It's like hell when my mind dwell, walk frail. Can't reach the top off of down sales, rhyme well. But that ain't matter, still my stock fell. NASDAQ, no crook in Baghdad. But money still was funny for me. Gone soon as I got it, more money, more problems, and ain't nothing coming for free. On top of that, I'm finna finish the album and not a dime was long, but I'm used to backing myself. Just peep the spinal bone, music in my veins, vertebrae look like a xylophone. Mighty gone by how I say the world from this block I'm on. 20% kidney function, that's what the stock was on. I bet the numbers be better, homie, if dots was on. You niggas styrofoam on the microphone, trying to build, knowing my foundation harder than mortgage to ensure death is right around the bend. Beanie in his prime, I could feel it in the air, smell the grimy in the wind, taste the wicked in the water, see hatred in how they watch. Cause they can't comprehend the makings of Pharaoh dots. Well, I give them to you, genetic code of a Zulu, African allies that put the 3-2 to you for fufu and boots itching to do you. Got priestesses in the voodoo, public figures in my pocket that push a button and nuke you. Should crucial when you in Hulu. I'm focused on being fruitful, chefing my people's freedom over kingfish in the cuckoo. A kingfish thought you knew, boo, I'm different vision, bald eagle less. Wings weary, went from looking for a few trees to rest. The deeper breaths make me peaceful, yes, in yogic state. I could pull pleasure from pressure when shit don't go my way. Premier writer, a freedom fighter, survivor, reminder. All things to all men, no need for titles. When you seen this much pain, you appreciate it. Only thing that matters is the goal, ain't no deviation. Cause the rent due, the bills need payment, and I done went it. Angel on my shoulder whisper, devil on the other screaming, hit the streets chasing. What you niggas call pressure, I call blessings. I wouldn't settle for less, huh?
Peace, family. Welcome to Aquarius Rising, the 9th gate. Once again, you're joining me on a Tuesday night. I almost said Thursday. A Tuesday night. Generally, I'm not on, but this is Flurboon After Dark. As some of you are joining me tonight, we're going to have a masterful show tonight. I actually have a special guest. The gentleman who you just heard on that particular song, that's Doc Stigler. He will be joining us tonight to talk about the fabulous sacred Phallicism and sexual proclivities tonight. So Doc Stigler has decided to join us. He has been brave enough. He is a masterful artist, a rapper. He's also an actor and acclaimed award-winning actor on independent film. I can't do him enough justice. He is super talented. He also has a couple of really great endeavors, including one where he does relationship recalibration and helps assist couples and singles to help to find aspects of themselves and, you know, to find some form of awareness, self-awareness that allows for being able to push past those limitations so that they're able to have cohesive and masterful relationships. Also, he's done so many prolific deeds in his own neighborhood. This is a native from Jersey. Big up to Jersey tonight, Doc Stigler. I'm grateful that he's decided to join us this evening. I can't give him as much wonderful credit as he deserves, and again he has decided to join us tonight on such a wonderful a wonderful evening today. Hold on. Let me just make sure. So we got the crew. Listen, everyone. So we have the crew. I decided, yes, we're going to be on Patreon tonight. I decided to join. We have our crew on on Cypher. Big up to the Cypher crew joining us tonight. I told you I was going to do it. I got our Cypher tonight on live. I also have YouTube. You guys will be on for a little bit, but I'm just giving you some of the show, and we will have to exit and go over to Patreon as the members. You know, this is a personalized conversation, but I don't want to leave out my YouTubers. So big up to the YouTube family who are here tonight, but we will only be on for a little while YouTube. Then we have to switch over to Patreon to join with our other family who are members and get into deeper aspects of sexual tantra and some of the really masterful information that can only be shared amongst a very few. So join us, come and check on in. Doc Stigler is actually on the line. Now, you know the number is 515-615-9881. Remember, it's 515-605-9881. Please, when you call, you know to push the number 1. You have questions tonight for myself or Docs, feel free. Again, the lines, we have to kind of limit our calls. We'll try to limit our calls to 5 minutes each, but you know that you have to call before our halfway mark as we do live stream, and then we go offline for a bonus hour afterwards. So we're going to get into our conversation tonight. Again, I'll repeat the number. The number is 515-605-9881. Again, we will be on here for a little bit. Then we're going to exit and go into Patreon. But Cypher's joining us, hopefully for the whole evening or until my other laptop. I have new technology, so please be patient with me. You know I'm not a techie. My little brother, some of you saw me live earlier. My little brother, who's, you know, is masterful in technology, was helping me get acclimated to the new computer system that I'm using to do this. So I'm looking both ways because I have on my right, I have YouTube rocking, representing on YouTube tonight. And I also have my crew, my Cypher crew, representing on the other side, so left. So let's do our shout outs. You know how we get down. Again, you know the number. For anyone who has the number, make sure that you give everyone the number. It's 515-605-9881. Again, we have masterful, beautiful, handsome, and talented Doc Stigler on tonight joining us. So let's kick it off with our shout outs. You know how we do. A shout out, big up to Jersey. We got to kick off to Jersey in the house. Represent as we have Doc Stigler in the house. We got Los Angeles in the house. Was good. Big up to y'all in Los Angeles. Big up to those in Philly. Philly representing in the house. Was good. Philly. Big up Australia. What's up down under? Andrea's in the house. Hawaii. The 808 is up in the house. Peace, family. Phoenix, Arizona. Was good. Hawaii. What a big mahalo for Hawaii's in the house. Was good. London's in the house. Big up to y'all in London. Beautiful London, UK. Big up to our family in PA. We got Linda. Hey, Desta. Hey, Linda. Linda's representing for PA on the left. Desta over there. Orlando. Hi. Carry-ons over in my neck of the woods in Orlando. San Jose. What up, Mona? Mona's representing for San Jose. New York City's in the house. What up? Detroit. DMV is in the house. What's good? Charleston. South Kakalaki's in the house. Hey, India. Peace to you. Panama's in the house. What's good, Panama? Big up to y'all in Fort Lauderdale and Panama. Hey, Arizona's in the house. North Kakalaki's in the house. What's good, Mel? Big up to you. Milwaukee in the house. What up, Mavati? H-Town. What up, H-Town? Representing in the house. Big up to y'all in H-Town. Outer Space is in the house. We know that. Mississippi rocking with me. Yes. Big up to Mississippi. Bay Area's in the house. Big up to y'all in Bay Area. Big up to our family in Kansas City. Big up to our family in Nolens is representing in the house. What's good? We have San Francisco, California. Hey, Laconia's in the house. Big up to you and that. Toronto's in the house. Snow Hill, Maryland's in the house. Big up to y'all. Vancouver, Canada. Hey, beautiful Selma. 1+3, mama. Big up to you. Big up to our family in Atlanta. Atlantis, you said. Big up to the Gold Coast, Australia is representing in the house. What's good? Big up to y'all there. Big up to our family in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Is that correct? Hattiesburg, Mississippi in the house. Big up to you. Detroit. What up, D-Town? Fatima's in the house. What's good? Detroit is in the house. Cincinnati, Ohio. Big up to y'all in Ohio. I hope it's getting a little warmer there. I know it's a little chilly in Ohio. Big up to y'all. Big up to y'all in, did I say parts of Florida, Tampa, Miami, Destin. Big up to everyone in Florida. Big up to our family in the Caribbean. Big up Jersey. Jersey's representing the house. We got Doc Stigler on tonight, so we got Jersey representing all day. Big up to our Jersey family. Big up to our family in the NYC, especially in Brooklyn. BK is in the house. Bronx representing always. You know, my old neck of the woods, which is Mount Vernon, representing in the house. What up, Mount Vernon? MV is in the house. Big up to our family. St. Louis is in the house. Tamarack, Florida. Big up to y'all. Big up to our family in Yonkers, New York, New Rochelle. Big up to our family in Mayapack. Big up to our family in, of course, White Plains, New York. Big up to our family in Queens, New York. Big up to our family in Strong Island, Long Island, New York. Big up to our family, especially in Castle Hill, the Bronx. I got to give a big shout out to our family in Castle Hill. They know who they are, rocking. And big up to our Co-op City family in the Bronx. What's good? Suva, Fiji is in the house. What's good, Fiji? Colorado Springs represent. What up, Alexander? Big up to you. Big up to our family in the Caribbean. Dire Straits, New York, Junkers. You don't say Yonkers, you say Junkers. Toronto in the house. Big up to you in Canada, in Toronto. Big up to our family in the Caribbean. Big up to our family in Bahamas. Big up to our family in of course, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Vincent in the Virgin Islands. Big up to our family in, of course, Trinidad and Tobago. D-Town in the house. Atlanta's in the house. Guyana. Big up to our family in Guyana. St. Lucia's in the house. What's good? That's my family. That's right. I'm your cousin. Big up to St. Lucia in the house. Big up to Martinique in the house. Big up to Dominica. Big up to our Dominicano family. Always represent. Big up to our Hassan family, the family of the Anunnaki, the bloodline of the Anunnaki. Big up to y'all. Big up to our family in, of course, Turks and Caicos. Big up to our family in in St. Martin and St. Martin. Big up to our family in St. Bart's. Big up to our family in going to Curacao. Big up to our family in Central America. Big up to Honduras, Costa Rica. Big up to LA's in the house. What up, West Coast? Big up Kansas, Wichita, Kansas is in the house. Big up to our family in Guatemala. Big up to our family in Venezuela. That's more South America. Big up to our family, of course, in Belize. Big up to our family in Guatemala. Big up to our family in Peru. Big up to our family. Hey, Texas is in the house. Big up to y'all. South Kakalaki, again, representing in the house, was good. Big up to our family in, of course, I said Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname. Big up to our Brazilian families in the house, ready to rock it with us next year. Big up to our family in there. Big up to our family in Paraguay. Big up to our family, of course, in Europe, Greenland. Big up to our family in Iceland. Big up to our family in Poland. I always miss our Poland family, and they always tell me I miss them. Big up to our family in Poland. Oh, Patreon, for those going on Patreon, we're only going to be an hour in here. When you get to Patreon, you just go to Patreon, you put Floorbrun, and you register. You know, it's like a donation, but you're on the page, and then you get the bonus hour with us. I think it's 2 hours you get with us. So we'll be going to Patreon live. It'll be on YouTube, but it'll be live only for those on Patreon. So that'll be within the next hour. We'll be with the Patreon crew. So look at the schedule on Patreon for Floorbrun, and we'll be doing more, and it'll be a little more intricate because I don't want to be so intricately crude on YouTube as I sometimes can get. So big up to y'all. Big up to our family in, of course, in Croatia. Big up to our Albanian family. Big up to our family in the Bulgaria. Big up to our family in France. The three options, you pick the Floorbrun After Dark. The Floorbrun After Dark is the live stream. So that's the one we're doing tonight. Normally our other live streams will be like on Thursday and so on. So it's Floorbrun After Dark tonight. This is more adult conversation. Usually we get into masterful sex, tantric aspects, a little bit of that off the hook. Yeah, I'll still be on Blog Talk. So anyone on Blog Talk and Cypher, you have me until the batteries run out of this. I'm doing everything tonight. I'm trying to satisfy everybody, which is kind of into the sexual aspect of everything. And again, the phone lines, if you're calling in tonight and you have questions, I suggest you do that early. And the phone lines are Again, 515-605-9881. Not many people know that I was going to be on tonight unless you looked at the schedule. So this is a bonus evening. We're going to talk about wonderful aspects of sacred Phallicism. The worship of the phallus, which is going to be a very interesting conversation. Let me finish up my shout outs. Big up to our family in Greece, in Turkey. Big up to our family in Ireland. Big up to our family in Scotland. Big up to our family. I know I'm all over the place. Big up to our family of course, in Israel. Big up to our family in Palestine. Big up to our family in Pakistan. Big up to our family in India, especially the Bangladeshi family. Big up to our Bangladeshi family who is also connected to our family in the UK. So big up to them. Big up to our family. Boston's in the house. Boston, Massachusetts. What's good? Big up to our family in Vietnam. I had a friend from Vietnam. Today we were talking for the longest time, and many of you don't know Vietnam, because it was colonized by the French, many of the old schoolers speak French, so it's interesting to speak with some of my older Vietnam people who actually still have the tongue of French. So big up to our Vietnam people, big up to our family in Thailand, big up to our family in Philippines, which another homie we were talking to today is a part of the show and part of our family from the Philippines. Big up to them. Big up to our family in Guam. Big up to our family in, of course, in China. Big up to our family in Japan. Big up to our family, let's go to Africa. Big up to our family in Senegal. Big up to our family in Mali. Big up to our family in Senegal. I said Senegal. Big up to our family in Congo. You can tell I'm not used to doing shows on Tuesdays. It's an odd night. We're just trying this out to see if you like it. Big up to our family in South Africa. Big up to our family in Ghana. Big up to our family in Sudan. Big up to our family in Yemen. Big up to someone always says they get upset when I say Yemen associated with Africa. Do you know how close Yemen is to Ethiopia? If you look at the map, you know where Yemen is, please. You know, there never used to be, this is just a sidebar, everyone, for who doesn't know history. There never used to really be a Middle East. It used to just be Africa. Okay, the whole place was Africa at one point. That with the colonization and the gentrification of Africa, because it's kind of like gentrification, then there became Arab states. It all was Africa, everyone. If you don't know that, I can't make that up. Go look at history. So if you think I'm mistaken Yemen for Africa, just look at the map and look how close it is to Ethiopia. Same people, a lot of the same bloodline. Big up to our family in Kenya. Big up to our family in Nairobi. Big up to our family in Nigeria. Big up to our family in the Ivory Coast. Okay, so family, I'm gonna give a kick off to our family and the Andromedans, always representing for Floribum. Big up to the Zeta Reticulum family. Big up to the Saurians, which we're Skittles. Skittles, like she always likes to remind me of the Saurians. Big up Skittles. Where's my Skittles? She's somewhere. Big up Skittles for the Saurians. See, I mentioned them first tonight. Big up to the Lyrian family. Big up to the Arcturian family. Where's my beautiful Skittles? I had to make sure I said it tonight. Every time I say the Saurians, I think of Skittles. Big up to our Anunnaki family. There you go, Skittles. Hey, honey. Big up to the Nega Serpent line. Big up to the Greys in bodysuits. Big up to the clones going on. There's a lot of cloning. There's going to be a disclosure of cloning in a little while, too. There's so many videos coming up of mass disclosure. Big up to the tall whites that have also looks like Hove is versus the tall whites. I'm gonna make a video on that one. The tall whites have taken it a point. They have an issue with the Hove with Jay-Z. So we'll get into that another time. This is not the time to discuss that. So anyway, family, I want to make sure that you call in and call in now. Again, 515-605-9881. You're going to have to call in early. Make sure you push 1 for your question. Remember, we talk about all different types of things, but we're kind of going to get into sexual aspects. And also, Docs has relationship recalibration, and he kind of gets into the aspects of having healthy relationships with one another in order to kind of raise the bar of your level of integrity as you're engaging in a partnership. I think a lot of times when we get in relationships, sometimes our goals are not set or our boundaries are not really solidified. And sometimes what happens is that as we engaged in either just sexual liaisons, as opposed to just trying to mend relationships, we end up kind of getting into mucky water of the lines of what it is our expectations are of the relationship, and also maybe blurred lines of sexually what is acceptable or what is cohesive to having a healthy sexual liaison with anyone. And as I've talked about before, there is quite a issue with, aspects of the phallus, the magic wand, the lightsaber. And it's been a bit tabooed, at least in the United States, our culture here in the States. And because of that, there's been a bit of a taboo when it comes to the masterful wand and how to engage in it, with the masterful wand. And also in having a relationship with males with a very indifferent or unrealistic expectation as to how sexual interrelations should occur. I think a lot of times with women, it's kind of like they think that the penis just goes in and there's nothing to it, or it's just about satisfaction of the male without having a connection to the actual instrument, the beautiful masterful wand that's connected to the being that actually can recalibrate him and yourself if utilized masterfully. It's just like taking a clarinet or a flute and not being able to play it properly. I know people are going to get me on this one. When you blow into, many of you who've played flute or clarinet know you have a reed, a wooden reed, and you put that in your mouth. And if you don't know how to properly blow inside of the instrument, it usually makes the most horrific sounds, or it doesn't make a sound at all. It's not really an instrument at that point. It's just something that's there. When we call it an instrument is when it actually is, we are in tune with the instrument, and we can make a sound based on our mastery of knowing what we're engaged with this tool that ends up making the most beautiful music when we learn and we train ourselves to engage and master the different ways to engage with it in order to make the most beautiful sounds. Okay, so I think we're gonna end up coming in. Okay, so let me bring in Doc Stigler. I see him on the line. Let's get everything tuned in. I'm sorry. This is one of those nights where I'm all over the place. Again, this is a Tuesday night. It's Fleurburn After Dark. If you have little ones, you always know my suggestion is this is not the conversation for the little ones to hear, especially if they're older and they have a comprehension of sexuality or sex or anything that may be associated with that. So I ask that as a parent or as a caretaker that you have your little ones exit stage left so that we can have this private conversation without interruption. So I'm going to get Docs on the line right now. I'm sorry. I'm just getting I have to get, I have all these different forms of technology, and Fleurburn is trying to make sure. I want to put the speaker on the phone. So give me one moment while I do this, while everyone checks in. How's everybody in Cypher doing? Big up to Cypher in the house. What's good? I know I've got all this new equipment. It's not new equipment, but I have like one new thing, and it just throws everything off. And I'm noticing that the phone lines are really iffy. So if you're calling in the phone lines, make sure you call in now. I'm sorry. Sorry, Docs. I'm getting to you in a minute. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to work out the kinks out of my phone here. When Fleurburn After Dark is literally Fleurburn After Dark. Okay. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Here we go. All right, so let's pull in Doc Stigler, masterful, wonderful, talented, a master of all trades, and very humble, I must say. So let's bring in the masterful Doc Stigler onto the phone lines. Let's see if he's on. Peace, godson.
You ready for me?
Oh, yes, I am. Peace.
Hey.
How are you?
First off, peace to the devil.
Peace to
Peace
you.
to all the goddesses, peace to all the gods. I gotta also use your greeting. Peace to the sun stars, peace to the sea stars.
Peace, peace. We're so grateful to have you on the platform tonight. And again, I apologize for being off cue tonight. It's a rare night that I do a show on a Tuesday, but I'm so grateful you decided to join us this evening, Docs. Docs, can you tell me a little bit? You know, I think some of our people already know you, and I played one of your songs, which is one of my favorites because it's in my ring. It's in my ring. It's one of my choices on my phone. What is it called when you have a phone choice? I have you on my list of songs that I listen to.
I made a rotation. Hey.
Anyway, Docs. So, Docs, you're originally from New Jersey. Is that correct?
Yes, goddess. Born and raised North New Jersey. Mostly raised in Stars, but definitely Jersey boy. I got roots in Barbados. My father's actually from Barbados, so I got some island blood flowing through me. And my mother's actually from North Carolina. Heavy Indian blood, Cherokee, so I had a bunch of things going on there. But born and raised in Jersey.
Cool. For those calling in, the number is 515-605-9881. Again, 515-605-9881. So, Doc Stigler, you've been a part of, I do know, because I remember seeing, we've known each other for a little while now and kind of been acclimated to each other's energy. But can you, you've been a part of, what have you noticed as far as being a hip hop artist, also an actor? What have you noticed with the interactions between males and females within maybe the last, 10 years? Do you notice any differences as far as the interaction goes and how music may affect that?
Well, of course, it's been a degradation. It's been a degradation for a long time, but especially in the past decade. And of course, being a young black male coming from the inner city, we are at a heightened level of that degradation, especially through our music, people season out of family. And it's also been a role and a role to planting, if you will. Wasn't that taking on the usual male sexual savage bag. It was coined by Rihanna. And one that kind of champion that sexual savagery that has damaged men and women for eons, but especially in the black community, especially in the hip hop community. The frequencies and tones have been heightened to a level where all that comes through the stream is procreation, is a lack of appreciation for sexual energy beyond physical. So it's been very rough. And I'm in a frequency now where I've gained a trust of P-Star, I've gained a trust of my brothers who've seen me be stuck for 4 years. Like not much for one single solitary, not part of my friends, but we were funky tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing struggles. I'm seeing struggles that, people older than me, younger than me that are having in trying to get no reins over their sexual appetite. And unconsciousness of how to affect that. It's a group out there.
Absolutely. Docs, if you don't mind, I think you're too close, either the speaker, because you can hear you a little bit, but you're a little muffled, like you come in and out a little bit.
I hear. Is it better?
That's better. Yes. I agree with you. And
that's exactly right.
And I noticed that, again, with you taking such a stance and clearing yourself and abstaining from sexual liaisons for a year and change, right? How did it make you as a male? Was there any sort of stigma attached to that with the other brethren that may have seen or were observing you in this act of cleanse and recalibration yourself on a spiritual, mental, and physical level? How did other males perceive you choosing to not engage in sexual liaisons for that period of time?
Well, it's a layered answer. Initially, it was probably humor. I still came away as expected, and so I was good with that. The second tier was probably threat. Because I've never had an issue, attracting women and things of that nature. I've never really taken advantage of that on top of that, so that can make me appealing on a certain level. Then when you add the fact that I was in control of my powers, my feet, whatever you want to call it, low key, I became a threat to a lot of brothers. So it was a lot of apprehension, it was a lot of aversion from people I've known my whole life. And just a bunch of confusion. But I spoke to my friends, I remained honest. And the key was probably my transparency, because a lot of these techniques and these concepts are very esoteric. So to be able to relay them through my personal experience and be transparent day to day, I was able to put through the jokes, the confusion, and threat. And a lot of those brothers are coming back to me and asking for the key.
Absolutely. And during this time of you clearing yourself, did you feel any? What was the first wave of overstanding of with refraining from sexual activity? What was the first stage that you felt physically? Did you feel any way physically? Maybe the first 2 months. Did you notice something different about your body that when you were engaging in sexual activity there was a difference between you engaging and refraining?
I'll reference to one of my favorite shows. I felt one of the classic episodes was when they made the bet of who would go the longest without sex to masturbate. And pretty much became human by not having sex. It was funny at the time, but when I began to connect to myself, I realized that the energy, instead of flowing constantly to the genitalia and our system, when it flows to the system, it amplifies, it clarifies. So I had a heightened sense perception. Staggered to begin to kick on. My ability to create and manifest in my external heightened. Had the best year of my career musically. Became an actor, wasn't even acting. Like pretty much last week and down was established after I just redirect myself to them. So perspective, actually in my life positive. It's been the best decision I ever made.
I agree. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on, Docs. I think we're having a problem. We're still having a problem hearing you clearly. It's like muffled. You come in a little bit, but it kind of muffles off. Okay.
Is this better?
Yes, I think so. Okay. I think that. Okay.
So you're
okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the comments as you're talking because they're hearing you a little bit, so they're just telling me.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay. So, I know as you were going through this change and the shift in your spirit, and you're big into meditation. Can you tell me something? Because you do something called meditation in the park. What is it called? Something in the park on Sundays.
I do peace in the park, and of course for the winter months we transition into a physical space, but I was driven to start it at the beginning of the last summer. And yeah, every Sunday it was a free initiative for community members to come out. So it's like a waterfall. It's a beautiful mountain. Like it's a very dope location in Jersey. And we would just come out. We got up to about 50, 60 consistent members.
Wow.
Kids up to senior citizens, everybody was coming out, all walks of life, different ethnicities, everything. And we just go get it in for an hour. I mean, we go cultivate the system. I guide them through specific techniques of how to cultivate the system, how to properly meditate. But I find a lot of people have the desire but have, negative experiences or ineffective experiences. So what I've learned, I've been able to relay. It's been big. So, and meditation is actually key because it's one thing to conserve the flow, but you have to be able to consistently redirect the flow. And if you're not doing that, going celibate for a year and beyond celibate, like no nuts period, that can be implosion of the system if you're not properly redirecting. So meditation is key. Absolutely.
I agree. And during that time, we kind of communicated, and I could tell with your frequency that it was raised. You had a clear kind of a crystallized frequency that was healthier. Like even when we talk, it was like a clear filter, like something that was different as opposed to if you were engaged. And I think again, this is all in perspective. Like if you'd not done it or not viewed it or not had the privilege to have engaged in conversation with you and your frequency, I may have not noted what that was or what that could be your frequency being that way, because you were clearing yourself, and also you were keeping your seed, holding in your seed, which many males, and except the more heightened spiritual males who are big into meditation, forms of Qigong, Tai Chi, really have mastered that element of holding seed in order to keep that energetic field clear, and also take that energy that's being expelled without mastery, but taking it in and keeping it and letting that recalibrate. I love it because you have the recalibration relation. Recalibrate your system and kind of heal aspects of yourself that you normally wouldn't be able to do if you were consistently engaging and releasing your seed every moment, every week, every day.
Right. And that's a key point, because like you said, if I was in a different frequency, I wouldn't have even been energetically visible to you. You would have never even noticed me, correct?
Yeah.
So as men, we have an ineffective approach to attraction, because women too. Many times attraction is not supposed to be pushed into physical sex, right? A lot of times attraction, even just on a physical level, is the universe sending resources, connections, your tribe to you, that we have been conditioned and programmed to say, oh, I'm attracted to this person, we're going to have sex eventually.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you're not meant to do that, and that sex taints the connection that you were meant to have, and a lot of times it can boost you in your career. Like, I'm on this platform, a huge platform right now, because I didn't try to force my connection to you or my attraction to you into a physical sexual state.
That's right.
We allowed it to exist in the way it was supposed to, which was spiritual. And you realize the more you level up in your ability to control the deep, you become more attractive to more high caliber women. Absolutely. And you realize, like, at a certain point, I realized, you know what? I'm literally standing on the shoulders of giants, of women, because women control the power to create. And that's what we have to understand. The male principle is the directivity of creative power. Women are abundant, unbridled power. Yes. So if you constantly pushing that power into a limited space, you're going to limit what you can get from a woman and from a connection.
Absolutely.
So that's a key point. Absolutely.
Phenomenal. Beautifully stated and eloquently expressed. I totally agree. I think a lot of times even when we've engaged, like, a lot of times I think out the gate, we think that if we have a connection to someone, it automatically is meant for us to just get it in. And at that point, we've kind of expelled any true connection by just keeping it in the lower chakra area, and not even, because, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I remember back in the days, especially, and I love to connect music, and I love that you're on, because I can connect the type of music sometimes that that can propel people in a one way as opposed to another. And I found that even when I was playing hip hop, old school Grand Puba, I was playing even MC Sham, Rakim. I was playing their music. I was playing it for everyone locally live, and what we noticed is that I didn't get it in my lower chakra. That beat, that backbeat was hitting my heart. It was hitting my sacral space. It was hitting my throat. I could feel it in my upper tiers of my chakra levels. But when I hear music now with the lower tones and the lower frequency, it hits my lower chakra, and it invokes me to automatically want to engage with people in a more savage, sexually piloted way. I feel even with, it doesn't matter what the lyrics are, that beat, that tone, that intent is there. And it propels people to engage and motivates us to do that. So how do you see the industry now, as far as your industry, you're kind of entrenched in that world. How do you see the differences or those who are trying to set themselves apart? Do you see that there's resistance? Do you see that there's maybe an opening for that level of consciousness to have a higher level and heightened level of toning and soma, so that we can reach what we did previously and have better communication via our audio, our wonderful musical, expression?
I actually think we had a very pivotal point and a hopeful point, surprisingly. And I know it may not seem like that on the surface of what's going on, especially in hip hop culture at large. But yeah, we've pretty much maxed out with how much energy you can throw against the wall as far as low frequency. And let's just get into the chakras a little bit.
Yes.
That you mentioned it before I answered the question fully.
Yes.
Everybody just think about the last time you were like really horny, right? And I'll take you back to, some of the behind the scenes of my moments when I was in my celibate back. There would be times where I was extremely, horny or whatever. A lot of sexual buildup in the lower chakras, like you said. When you realize that energy siphoned to different chakras has different attributes, case in point, if you move sexual energy from the root and the sacral chakra to a higher chakra, let's say the heart chakra, it'll literally within minutes turn from horniness to, I want to check on somebody right now. I want to go be charitable. I want to genuinely give love beyond physical sex to somebody.
Absolutely.
If you send it to the third eye, you may start to become psychic and have cosmic downloads and see visions and see light beyond the physical surface. If you move it into the solar plexus chakra and your stomach, you will have more willpower and confidence. Each chakra has its own set of attributes, and energy is indiscriminate. Wherever you send the energy, it's going to obey. So if you're constantly allowing it to collect and funnel through the lower chakras, it's only going to be horniness, which can cause us to make some bad choices, some ineffective choices.
Absolutely.
So just people understanding how the chakra system works, and you have the power to transmute any energy. When you're extremely upset or extremely happy, it's the same exact energy, just manifesting through different parts of the system,
Totally.
which causes it to have different attributes. So my singles out here who find themselves sexually frustrated, who don't want to just give that energy, that God force to just anybody, there are many techniques where you can begin to transmute and send that energy up to manifest in different ways. And that led me to forgetting the rest of the question. So,
you added so much. You added so much. So much golden information to that conversation. And even when we talk about aspects of sexually engaging with someone and trying to find some sort of interconnectedness prior to engaging in physical copulation or physical sexual expression, isn't it appropriate for someone to do as you did and kind of find themselves, kind of master and cultivate their inner chi to be able to actually know what it is to express love for self and be able to extend that to another being? How important is that?
Right. Absolutely. It's huge because, especially as men, and there's a lot of imbalance, with our females as well, with our she-stars, but I'm a man, so I have the male experience. You gotta understand, we're raised, we're groomed, we're nurtured to attach so much of our value and our identity to being able to conquer women. How many women you have? Like, we're literally trained that way. And what I realize is that we're taught that we're going to find Mrs. Right through that technique. And often that pushes us further and further away from who we're meant to be with. Now, we still may link up with somebody, we still may get married, have kids, but a lot of times we are not in situations that we're content with because of the way we approach the process. Now, men, we got to understand, the average man will ejaculate up to 5,000 times in his life, right? That's the average man. Let's extrapolate and go underneath that number. Each time he ejaculates here, he releases 200 to 600 million sperm. Each one of those sperm has the ability and energy to literally cultivate and give life once attached to the egg. So that's the average man releasing that much life force. Don't let you be wavy. Don't let you have some money. Don't let you smell good. You know what I'm saying? Don't let you have a little bit of magnetism. You're going to have to triple that number. So you literally got men out here conditioned to ejaculate 15,000, 20,000 times in their life. And you're releasing all that God force into women that are really not effective for you, which pull. So and I'm finding myself counseling men who may be 35, 40, 45, and they either ran through the whole hood, and they get to that point where they're left in a space where I'm going to continue to run through these young ones because that's the frequency I can kind of ride with and break through. But the ones that I really want, they're not looking at me because I've depleted so much of my energy. I don't even know how to interact on a level with so we can limit the thing that we think to get us to the goddess, which is chasing our date, takes us further away.
I agree. Asaya has a question for you. Asaya asked, what started you on this path? Was there an experience that sparked your consciousness in this manner?
Mm-hmm.
That's her question to you.
You mean the sexual path or?
Yeah, she wanted to know. Yeah, I think just a combination, like you being to this elevated state of consciousness, your journey into finding yourself, expressing yourself
right.
spiritually.
Okay. I got you. Well, I'm gonna keep it very funky. I was at the point I was gonna attempt suicide for the second time. I had already attempted, I guess about 8-9 years ago. Took 20 some odd pills. It was at a rock bottom, so I thought. It came to that point again maybe about 4 years ago. And a friend of mine, who I was originally in a group with a long time ago, who found himself through Kundalini Yoga. He also teaches a class. You can look him up, andresyoga.com. Great brother. But he was starting his online classes, and I'm transparent, so he saw my post. You could tell I was suicidal, so he reached out to me, and literally a 5-week online course gave me the keys I needed to change my entire trajectory. So I went from about to kill myself and I was done with this entire world to literally in my divine bag right now, God, every moment. So it was either evolve or die.
I'm so grateful that you chose to live, because now there's so much more that you were meant to do and so much more expression to be the lantern to those who are still in the dark. So sometimes we can't teach from a placement of perfection, but we can teach from a placement of pain and acknowledgement of what the journey that we've gone through that was less than perfect. And I think you are here and you were meant to stay here to be able to express this and teach many of us who may not be at that level that you are to ante up and pony up a little bit and get back to that healthy homeostasis where you feel like life is worth living. And beyond that, it's worth being a part of this journey. So, hold on. We have somebody. Oh, sorry. We have somebody who wants to join us on Skype in a minute. Docs, I'm learning how to do all this techie stuff. So, never mind.
I know.
It's the technology is superseding it.
My patience it's all good. My patience has also been heightened on this journey, so we straight.
Let's see. I think we have other questions. Oh, for anyone who's still, everyone's asking the phone number. 515-605-9881. We'll take a call in a minute. We're going to talk a little bit more about, I think we have, is that, Lizette, are you on the line? I heard a bit of a backfeed. I'm pulling someone in on my screen on Facebook, and I don't know how it's going to pan out. She may just pop on, so I'll just warn you. Docs, if you hear another master, beautiful C-star, it's Lizette. Lizette will probably call on. So I'm going to get a little bit more seedy. Hold on. Thank you for who donated. Somebody donated money. I have super chats on this. Thank you for who donated to super chats. Thank you very much. Grateful. Again, everything goes to Sanctuary. Thank you. I appreciate that. For anyone who's going on, we're going to spend about 5 minutes left on YouTube. And I have to go to Patreon because we have members and we're actually going to get a little more seedy. So for those who want to join us, you can always go to Patreon and join us on Floorbrune. You know how to get me, but 5 minutes more. And Cypher, you guys are going to stay on for the duration of time. Again, until my computer kind of lets you free. Okay, so Docs, we generally as women, and I'm going to talk from my own point of view, we're going to get a little more intricate, have such a interesting viewpoint of your masterful wand, your phallus, your lightsaber, your dick, your penis, your stick, whatever we call it. We have such an interesting take on. There's so many names and so many aliases we have to your wonderful, beautiful phallus. And it's interesting that as women, we generally do not ever engage in conversation about the penis. We never generally are taught to really engage with the penis in a masterful way, or to have an understanding of the importance it is to have a general knowledge of what it is meant, what it does, how it is, how it works intricately, how it's connected to you, how the connection to you affects you or infects you, and how to masterfully utilize your wand as a tool in order to engage in ways that would manifest desires in life, manifest things that we desire in life, whether it be something externally as far as abundance, or something internally as far as self-healing and self-mastery. So what do you feel? I'm going to get a little more personal with you, Docs, if you don't mind. You've known me a little bit. You've known me a little bit. So this is a grown folk conversation. So let's kind of go back to a time when you were first engaging with females. Maybe your first 1 or 2 times that you engaged with females. What was your take on the first time that you exposed your penis, your wand, your phallus, your masterful tool to the first girl who you could show? What was her reaction? Can you remember that? I know it's a bit, it's not that far long ago, I don't think, but do you have a recollection of her first take on when she first saw your penis, your wand?
You talking about my first sexual experience?
Well, no. Well, no. When the first time you exposed your penis and a girl had seen it, like she actually had before.
Oh, okay. I got you. That's a great question. I'll say the googly eyes emoji. That was the facial expression. And mind you, I actually came up in the church. So I'm gonna be very honest with you. I was actually a late bloomer sexually. It's actually a dichotomy because my first sexual experience, I was very young. Like I didn't have actual sex. But it's funny because my sister is there in the other room. She's visiting or whatever. But I literally remember me and my next door. Now she can't hear you right now. Okay. I tell her up. But yeah, I literally remember myself and my next door neighbor, who was like my best friend. She used to love basketball, so we would go everywhere together. But my sister and her brother, like they just one day thought we should have sex. And our idea of what sex was. So we got in a sleeping bag and just like tossed around and felt on each other. Like literally, like wow. I was probably like 7 years old.
Okay.
Pretty innocent, but still constituted, my first, interaction in any way with a female. But, actual sex the first time I was probably honestly teen, college campus, because there was a lot of guilt associated with sex coming from Christianity. Yes. And I was beginning to take Christianity seriously around 17. So my first few years on the college campus, I had a lot of it getting thrown at me, but just wasn't really engaging. So I remember that first time, it was still a lot of guilt, even in me exposing myself in that way, but it was just time. I had to go down. So she appreciated what she saw.
Wait, can I back up just a little bit? I want to get a little more intimate with you in a very verbal way. I want to get just a little bit of a bird's eye view, because I think what a lot of times we kind of go through the motions, but there's so much detail that's lost in the sauce in our journey. So as you said that you felt guilt, can you just speak about the guilt? What was the guilt associated with? Was it the guilt of how you were indoctrinated in Christianity? Did you feel like that was something that you were taught or molded to believe that the sexual act, or was it your body that was shameful? Or was it a combination of both? Which was it? Where the guilt was initiated?
It was more so the former, as far as you're not supposed to, according to Christianity, you're not supposed to engage in any sex till you marry. So it was me feeling like I was letting God down. I didn't have plans on marrying this girl. It was just time for that to go down. So I felt, guilty about that I wasn't connected to her on a level beyond just wanting her physically in that moment.
Okay.
Not necessarily body stuff or whatever, but yeah, the former and in that aspect of, it's just me just wanting sex from her. So I was very guilty about that, but still went through with it. She probably never knew that. Or at least wasn't conscious of it on a conscious level. Subconsciously, of course, she knew. But yeah, that was it.
And previous to you actually placing your penis inside, I'm going to get very intricate, and you know how I do, so you're probably not nervous of me being this way. Previous to you actually inserting your masterful wand inside of her, did she actually take a look at your penis? Did she actually engage with it in a physical way? Was there any fellatio? Did she look at it? Did she investigate it? Was there any curiosity on your part in how she viewed your wand previous to it entering her yoni?
I'm gonna be very real once again.
Yes, I appreciate it.
She looked at it like it was the eighth wonder of the world.
Wow.
Like literally, she looked at it like she was like working on a science experiment. Like she held it in her hand. You know what I mean? She waved it around, looked all around it. You know what I'm saying? And I was fortunate and I was blessed because she was probably one of my best sexual partners as far as fellatio went. So after she investigated and paid attention to it, she went in. And I was surprised because, I had never had to withhold myself. I never, so it didn't take long. I didn't say that. Definitely didn't take long.
They're saying it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th wonder of the world.
Yeah, she turned her from the 8th wonder of the world into rubble.
Okay. So she wasn't really intimidated by it. She was like, "Listen, it's on and popping."
No.
Okay.
It's interesting because on the surface you would never expect that from her. Like she was kind of quiet, you know what I'm saying? And it's also interesting because can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
You?
Yes.
Okay. It's also interesting because we still have mutual friends, and I hear that she can't really even engage on my posts because her husband and we don't speak. I haven't spoken to her in probably like 10 years.
Yeah.
But her husband can still he can still sense the connection of energy. So she can act on my page to this day. On account of probably what and that goes to show you how long these ties can exist. These energetic ties can exist. So
your choice of words are very interesting. Yes, I agree. I think sometimes we don't realize how interconnected we get. Even having such a very simplistic, but very profound sexual relationship in your youth could still hold a strong credence in your life.
Absolutely.
20 years later, or a couple years later. 20 years later. So that goes into why we are delving into this conversation and why we're extending this information so that the younger sun stars and sea stars, which I think are not being necessarily cultivated in a very personable, a very healthy sexual way. I feel like a lot of everything's getting lost in translation, and the culture that the millennials are coming from are more like hit it, drop it, smash it, tear it up, get it in, turn it up. Even the language, the verbiage that's utilized in order to describe sexual relationships now has a very detached, very lack of connective type of language and verbiage that kind of plays into the energetic lack of connectiveness spiritually, physically with beings in what we're seeing in the modern day relationships with our younger demographic of youth right now. And I think it's important. That's why I always tell people, especially with parents, you know, you make the call. I always say the young people shouldn't listen to this personal conversation, but I think if you have a young person 13 and on, I think the fact of the matter is, because if our intent is good in having this conversation, because we're both adults, and I think we're pretty spiritually sound, both of us, and we have integrity as far as our intent is giving this information, I think this would be a great platform that would allow for them to get some sort of information without it kind of interrupting or disrupting their mindset, but giving them details of aspects of sexuality, healthy sexuality, that can assist them in making better choices and making and maybe becoming more celebratory until they're ready to really master. Because if you can't master yourself, you certainly can't master a relationship with another whole being.
Absolutely. Jeez.
And that's a big deal. Okay, hold on, Mr. Diggler. We've got callers too.
Yes, ma'am.
So listen, everyone. For my wonderful YouTube family, this is a time you're gonna have to call in, because I have to go over to Patreon. I'm sorry, I gave you some, and I told you that this was something that I was gonna go to Patreon. So if you want to join us back, go to Patreon. Those on Cypher, you'll still continue to be here. You can call Blog Talk and stay on. Remember, the number is 515-605. 605. The talk of the phallus has got me tongue-tied. 515-605-9881. Again, 515. Wait. 515-605-9881. You know, you can join us on Blog Talk and listen to the rest of the show, or you can join us on Patreon and still continue to watch the live feed. So I thank you, everyone, on I know. Thank you, everyone on YouTube. Do call in on Blog Talk, ask a question, make sure you press 1, call in, and we're going over to Patreon. So if you can give me a minute, Docs, I'm just gonna end the live feed on YouTube and go on.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, please.
Can I say one real quick thing before you transfer?
Yes, Docs.
Okay, sorry. For any women listening, pick up the book Cultivating Female Sexual Energy. The author is Mantak Chia, M-A-N-T-A-K, last name Chia, like Chia Pet. It's a free PDF download. And for the men, same book, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy. People were asking about the techniques. It's all in the book.
Yes. Did everyone get that? He just suggested books. And also, Docs, where can they find you? Can you give us your website and where they can find you, and also download some of your wonderful songs, and also maybe make an appointment for if they're having issues with relationships, or they want to find a way to really recalibrate their own spirit and their own person. Is there a way that they can contact you?
Yeah, I'm at DOXDIGGLA on all social media, social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And then if you want to reach me as far as music, things of that nature, check me out. You can go to my website, and it's also www.DOXDIGGLA.com.
And also, they want the book again. Can you repeat the book slowly, Docs? They're asking for you to repeat the book.
Sorry about that, y'all. It's Cultivating Female Sexual Energy. And there's also one called Cultivating Male Sexual Energy. And the author is Mantak, M-A-N-T-A-K. Last name is Chia, Mantak Chia.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, got it. Thank you, Kate Namas, for putting that down. So everyone, thank you for joining us on YouTube. We're going to connect to our Patreon family. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that I touch base with my YouTube family. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. And we're going to be on again Thursday night. So thank you again for joining us. And we'll join our family on Patreon. Okay, peace, family.